Good morning.
Okay, so just a recap of where we were. Last session we discussed on waves. We created waves and we tested an example with wave. But there was one issue which basically because of which the wave of next duration was not getting into another. It's what was basically getting assigned to the same wave of uh, um, the previous time. So I'm still to sort that out. I think there is some date issue. So I'm just working on it. So I'll let you know once I sort that issue. So apart from that, I think we tested how the waves are created, waves are assigned, and we also tested the warehouse orders which are created through wave, how they are executed. We understood roughly what is the warehouse order creation rule, what it does. Okay. So a small testing of wave is required where the next wave of the next time goes to create another wave, does not get assigned to an existing wave. Okay, so that part we'll test again. I'll sort that out and we'll test it. Okay, so we'll move on together. We'll move on now to our next topic, which is strategies. Okay. So like we discussed, how the strategies would work for inbound. In the same way, we have strategies for outbound. Okay, so I'll just go into my screen and I'll explain you. So one setting we have already done for the strategies for our product, which is storage type search sequence. So we'll quickly review that and then we'll understand what are the different strategies in EWM. Okay, so this is our delivery. We open our delivery first. Any delivery, for instance. Okay, let's say for example this is a delivery. Okay, so what does the strategy do? Okay, so when you're creating the task through wave or manual way, okay, so let me first cancel the task. Okay, so whenever a delivery is created, a task has to be created for the delivery, for it to be executed, for it to create a task. Okay, for it to execute the action, let's say stock removal. So as we see in our diagram, stock removal means removal of stock from the storage type where they are stored into good issue zone and where it gets good issued, or into packing, then staging, then door, and then good issue, whatever. So deliveries are created for which we need to execute our actions of picking. So a task has to be created, right? So we last time we created tasks by simply pressing create. Okay, and we have also tested by wave creating tasks, right, for outbound. So the tasks which gets created, the strategies, let's say for example in inbound I was telling you the strategies plays an important role in how you determine the storage type, the storage section, then bin. Here again, strategy plays a very important role. First, now there we were determining the destination where we need to put the stock away. Here, since it is removed, we are determining the source from where the stock has to be removed. Okay, so there is a source storage type. Okay, so the stock could be placed here, 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 here. Which storage type you want to remove the stock from? It comes from your source storage type, and in that storage type the stock can be placed into hundreds of bins. So which bin the stock should be picked from is the next bin determination. Okay, so there is no section determination in case of outbound. Okay, only storage type and storage section. So if you say, if I press create, you will see system will automatically determine, and you will see the stock has been determined now to pick from this bin. Okay, 8004. So how system went on and searched 8004 storage type? It went on because search sequence of 8004 was identified, right? So this configuration we did last time, when we were testing Wave. So just go to the configuration again. So this is called as stock removal rule and stock removal strategy, and this is stock removal indicator, not the rule. So first thing what we did was we created a stock removal indicator. Okay, stock removal for 8004. We assign this indicator to our product so that whenever it is, this is the product, whenever it is searched, that indicator will come into place. So same we had put our indicator, we have stock removal indicator. Okay. Then we have storage type search sequence for stock removal. So what we do is we define a sequence. So whenever the stock, okay, is being searched, as per that indicator 8004, then we need to assign the strategy. So in this strategy we are saying, first, whenever this is the strategy, go and search in 8004 storage type. Okay, so what we can do is we can also add another sequence to it. Okay, saying that first search in 8004, then search in 8001, then search in 8002, then search in 8003, and so on. So we can give a sequence. See, because generally your companies, when you are removing stock, let's say for production, you sometimes keep stock here, sometimes you keep stock here, sometimes you may have here, here, here. Anywhere it's possible, right? In case of our outbound, in for the scenario we have been taking for our discussion, pump is always stored here. So there is no point in maintaining other storage type. So it's always stored there. But yeah, in case pump was stored at any other places, or you have some, or you can say packing area. If the stock is kept here, for instance, some stock is kept here, you can say pick from packing area. Okay, so you're depending on your requirement. You give your You give a sequence of storage type from where the system should search. System will, as per the strategy, system will first search here. If it does not find a pump, then it will go and search here. Okay. So this is the sequence. We call it a search sequence. Okay. So we created an indicator, assigned that indicator to a product. We created a sequence. Okay. Now we need to link the sequence to the indicator, right? So what we are saying here is, whenever the indicator is 8004, the sequence 8004 should be followed. 8004 means the one which we created, that is first remove from 8004. If there is no stock in 8004, then go to 8030. Okay. Then what we need to focus here is this, right? So this is the main table. This controls, all the, this table basically gives us details of all the influencing parameters that can determine the sequence. So if you have a look here, in the task log, based on the indicator, the system found out a search sequence, okay, and the rule, two things. So how system found out search sequence and rule? From this table. System checked what was the product indicator 8004. What was the process type? So process type is the second influencing indicator, in our table. Process type, if you see here, delivery process type, it is 2010. Okay. Then there are more influencing parameters apart from your stock limit indicator, process type. You have something called as quantity classification. This we'll see in our the next few strategies, how quantity classification works. And basically it gives, we can give a different sequence to pick from based on the quantity we need to pick. Okay. Then stock type. Okay, whether we can define a new sequence. Let's say for stock of quality, we can give another sequence to pick from. Okay. So let's say unrestricted stock should be picked from 8005. For example, we can say if the stock is quality, let's say quality block or any other custom. So let's say we are saying it's a B6 stock, block stock, then I will define a different sequence, let's say pick, which, since it is already there, a sequence called pick, I've given another sequence to pick from. Okay, so you can define based on any other influencing parameter. Then you have stock type, whether it's a project stock or a sale order stock. Okay, then you have influence of usage. So whether it's a consignment process or contracting process, RTP process, process-wise also you can differentiate from where the stock has to be picked. But generally these two are the most important influencing parameters. So others depending on your requirement. Then you also have a hazardous rating 1 and hazardous rating 2, which can again influence your sequence from where you are picking the stock. Okay. So there are two things here: stock type, sequence. I'm just focusing on stock type, sequence. Then next is the rule. Okay, so we'll come to the rule. So rule is assigned here. I'll explain you what is the importance of rule, but please make sure you know these influencing parameters. They will help us to search a sequence, and that sequence we will identify the storage type from where we need to pick the stock from. Okay. So very important, because why we need to give this strategy is because in a day-to-day business, when you create a task, you don't have to manually give anything, right? So tasks are created automatically through Wave, through automatic task creation, through PPF. Okay. So depending on your requirement, you arrange the task to be created. Okay. So the task creation should define a logic here from where your task should be picked. from first from the storage type, then from that, then from another one. Okay. Then we saw we saw the tables dot type search sequence. We saw the storage type indicator we assigned to a sequence, and sequence we assigned it to the indicator. Okay. And let's come to the stock removal rule. Okay. So stock removal rule will help us to understand these strategies. Like first strategy is first in first out. Okay. Now let us come to this section where first in first out, right? So you have a stock removal rule here. Very common is first in first out. Alright, so I will create a task now. So you will see system has created determine a storage type A004, that was clear, and then why system has determined this bin. Okay. So let us see the stock of the product. Okay, there it's stored in the same bin, that is why. So what I'll do is some of these parts I'll put to another bin. Through ad hoc movement. Basically, if a stock is placed into more than one bin, we need to determine from which bin the stock will be picked from. Sorry, these are handling errors. Okay, so I'm just doing a mouse change and moving all this handling errors to, let's say, another bin. Confirm task automatically and put it into 804. Let me take another bin, let's say 14BB. Huh? So if I refresh now, you can see some handling units are in AA and some handling units are in BB, ending with BB storage type. So what logic system would take, let me try again from where it is picking. So what logic system would take to pick your stock? So why it is only searching AA bin? Why it didn't search BB? There should be some logic, isn't it? So the logic here is this. These are the different logics based on which the system search the bin in a storage type. So yeah, it's a very in a demonstration system. This is a very basic example where we just have 10, 12 pallets, but in a business example where we see a customer, live customer, this stock might be lying in, hundreds of bins across different storage types. So it is very important to know, from what logic system is taking. So first is, if you are going as per the first logic, first in, first out. The same logic is being used here, first in, first out. So what system does in first in, first out, you know, system will try to search the bin which came in first. So what system will do for all your stock, system will find out what is the good receipt date, okay, and what is the good receipt time. Okay, so what system will do, it will sort it, ascending order, and ascending order. So this is the stock, you know, this stock came in first. Okay, so system is trying to take this stock came in at a later time, so the baby stock is not being considered. Okay, so basically that's the logic. Let's say, for example, I'll move this to another bin. So there are these many pallets, yeah. So yeah, these are of the same date, So I think system should go as per the number. So let me try moving 58 to another bin, and then you will see the stock getting picked from another bin. I'm moving this to, let's say, a bin ending with RRA and BB 331. Yeah. Okay. So now the oldest one is lying in 331. Yeah. See, the stock has been picking from 331. So how system works in the background, let me refresh this. System takes all your stock, and then, as I told you, you need to sort based on GR date and GR time. The old stock, wherever it is lying. This is appearing now because the list is, kind of the GR date and time is same. Here it is appearing here because of, the last movement date was at the latest time. Okay, last movement was later time, but the GR date was first we kind of received this HU. Okay, so system is trying to take that bin first or removing this time. So it is first in, first out. So the rule is FIFO. Okay, and what FIFO does, it's a very simple rule. The strategy is very simple. In case of, outbound, it probably only sorts, in a ascending order. What it is doing, it is simply sorting in an ascending order. WDATU, date of good receipt. Okay, this is, if you click this, it will sort in descending order. If you click this, it will sort in ascending order. Okay, So based on date of good receipt, it is sorting it and the bin is being selected. Okay. Same way we have other strategy. Let's say you want to go with last and first out. So what you're going to do here is we are going to simply select it, and based on good receipt date we are going to set descending order. So the stock which has come last will go out first. Okay. Then if you're working with shelf life expiry, check. So whenever a product has a shelf life expiry, we want to pick a product. You want to pick a product which has um, less expiry left. Yeah. So then what you do is this logic you give is sort a product into expiry date in an ascending order. So the bin which has stock which has less expiry left. Okay. So we have to consume that fast, right? Specifically in food industry, they have less expiry date. It has to be consumed fast. So you sort it. The system will sort it in the based on expiry date, and then if all the expiry dates are same, then it will sort it as per the GR date, which one came early. Okay, so you can give sequence also the way it has to be sorted. Okay, it's simply sorting of your stock in your bins. That's it. So we don't use shelf expiration date, but yeah, if you are using that, you will see the dates on barrier. Okay, it's getting stored. Okay. So we saw FIFO, we saw LIFO, and we saw shelf expiration date. Now let us see the other one, which is called a stringent FIFO. Okay. Again, stringent FIFO is kind of again very uh, commonly used strategy. As the name suggests, stringent. Okay, stringent means it is more of a strategy where you are very cautious about your stock getting stored at other places. Okay, so what you say is, I want to pick my stock. Let my stock be at any place in the warehouse, any bin, anywhere in the warehouse. Okay, you pick it. Pick the oldest stock. It's a FIFO. It's a FIFO picking of oldest stock. But what we are doing saying is, it's a stringent FIFO. So okay, so why? Okay, I'll tell you the why this strategy is slightly different. See, because in the storage type search sequence, we are saying pick from here, if not pick from here, if not pick from here, if not pick from here. We're giving a sequence. We are saying first check here, then check here, then check here. But let's say, for example, your storage has to be, your stock is placed into, let's say, all the 5 storage type. Okay, and you don't want system to check one by one. You want system to check overall in this 5 storage type. Whichever is having the oldest stock, pick that one. Okay, so it's not check this, check this, check this. It's like check, basically group all of them into one and check where the storage, which storage is having the, which bin is having the oldest stock. So what we do is we group the storage types, okay, into one. So all of them are considered as one, and all that group of one, whichever is having the oldest stock, that will be picked. So what I'll do is WH80. So I'll create a group of SF stringent FIFO01. Okay. So I'll create a group. Here the sequence will not matter, right? Because I'm just simply saying, don't search as per the sequence, search as per the group. So I'm saying, first please don't bother about the um, sequence. Go and search in the group wherever it is having the oldest stock. SF1, that's 18. Okay, I think I need to create a group first and then assign. SF1 does not exist. So I'm assigning storage type to storage type group. Let me create a group first. WH80. Okay, stringent FIFO. Change the name SF01 and go as per the FIFO. Yeah. So create a group and in that group search for FIFO. Okay, stop the model. You can assign here also. Okay, so you create a group and then in your search sequence, okay, don't assign the storage type. You have to assign the group. So we have a specified storage type search sequence. And what is the search sequence here, right? Okay, so here I'm not going to give my storage type here. I'm going to say go and search in the group of SF01. If you don't get in that group, then come and search in the storage type. Okay, this is how the group will be used. Search. So again, again it's going to take the same storage bin, but you can see SF01 somewhere appearing in these group in this search. Always look for this log whenever you're not getting your bin created. So here you can see 8004 determine, and in that 8004 SF01. So it's not searching one storage type, it's searching the group. Okay. So it's again an important strategy where you don't search in a particular storage type, you search in a group, across all storage types. If you search one by one, then there's a possibility that if you search here and then you search, go to another one, and you go to another one, go to another one, you might lose finding the older stock. Let's say with my sequence, first search in 8001. If you find stock in 8001, there is a older stock in 8004 or 3, you will not be able to search. You need to create a group, and across all you need to search whichever is the oldest. So for that purpose, we need to create a group. Okay. So next strategy is a fixed bin strategy. So as we know, fixed bin for put away. Same way this fixed bin for removal works. You just keep the stock in one bin and you remove the stock from that bin only. So it's a very simple storage type. Let's say storage types are sequence. Let's say, let me show you the transaction in that. So if you remember, we tested this strategy where for a product, I think it was this product, we maintained min-max quantity as well. So we determined a fixed bin and we were putting away the stock into the fixed bin and removing the stock from the fixed bin. So this fixed bin is where the stock is being placed, and this is the fixed bin from where it will always be removed. So if you're working with a fixed bin strategy, okay, so at once you determine at the storage type level, okay, first you determine the sequence, correct? So I determined that the stock should be picked from 8004 Okay, and if in 8004, we need to now determine the bin. We are not going as per the FIFO, we are going as per the fixed bin. So the system will search what is the fixed bin in this table, okay, and it will try to assign that fixed bin. Okay, so here you may not go with FIFO if you are going with a fixed bin strategy. You always place the stock in a bin and you always remove from that bin. So if you want to work with fixed bin, as we know, we have to fixed bin strategy always is at storage tab level. So you have to click this indicator 005 use fixed bin. So the system will always, at least removing the stock also, like we tested in our put away. Removing also, system will always search from this bin. Okay, so this is fixed bin strategy. Clear these four strategies: FIFO, FIFO, LIFO, and shelf life and fixed bin. These five strategies are clear. Any questions on this?
No, Ron.
Okay. All right. So let's go to our next session. Next strategy, which is the partial quantity. Okay. So what what this partial quantity does? Let us. What is the rule or what is the idea behind using partial strategy? Okay, and we are going to see how we modify the rule for partial strategy. Okay. So most of the strategy, they use rule. So how this partial palette works? It works like this. Okay. So before going for GR date, it will first look for the quantity. It will first sort the stock in as per the quantity. So as the name suggests, partial palette first. So what it is going to do is first do a filter on quantity. So whichever is the smallest quantity, it will try to pick that first, okay, which is the partial quantity. So why there is a need of a partial quantity picking? This is a perfect example of partial quantity. Let's say, for example, I need two pieces, okay, and if as per the GR date, system is telling me to pick from 158, okay, two pieces. So again I have two pieces left here, again I have two pieces left here in another bin, in another storage type, and another bin of the same storage type. So what happens is, if you're not removing stock from your partial bins, you have, all small stock at various places. See, our fixed um, pallet size is 4. We don't want to break all the pallets into partial ones. In an ideal situation, all our pallets should be of 4, and all the picking should only happen of 4. So we shouldn't have a situation where we have a partial quantity. Okay. So whenever any partial quantity comes, you make sure you need to pick it fast, right? You do not want to keep it open, right? So here the sorting is done as per the first sorting. First search will be as per the sorting on the quantity. So whichever is the smallest quantity, and if the quantity is same, then whichever is the oldest one, system will try to pick that. So the idea is, for the strategy is to keep your partial quantity to as low as possible, as minimum as possible. Okay. So if you search, system will first go and set here, the partial quantity. Let's say I'm going to pick 6 pieces. So system will not pick like this. If you don't sort it, what system is going to do is, um, system is going to pick 4 from here, 2 from here. Okay. So that's again, going to create some more partial quantities. So we are moving from away from our requirement. So I will, let's say 6. So system will pick 2 from here, and then whichever is oldest among this 4, let's say a bin, we identified this is the oldest, system will pick the 4 from here. So parcel quantities should always be kept to minimum. So that's the reason, you will first pick partial quantity. So some companies specifically have this requirement. Okay, so if I remove this 2 and my orders, the next orders which are always in quantity of 4 will get, full pallets, and we don't have to, always keep that in mind, or always system, there are less pallets. So there's again a, situation. Let's say if you have too many partial pallets, let's say 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and then 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. So the ones which are 2, are occupying a more space, right? They could have been accommodated into one. So the idea is remove the partial ones as soon as possible, so that your bins are with 4 pumps and they are utilizing more space. Okay, so this is the partial pallet strategy. Okay, then next one is small and large quantity. Okay. So as the name suggests, small and large quantity. I'll first tell you what is the business logic of using this, in which scenario you use this small and large. So as the name suggests, small and large, it first tries to, it tries to search the bin, okay, based on the quantity that you're looking for. Okay, so it's not only bin, it is actually storage type as well. So I'll give you an example. Let me remove this. Okay, so let's say you have product in boxes. Okay, so we have product kept in boxes of 10, 10, 10 each. Okay, so this is a perfect example for uh, Coca-Cola bottles. Okay. So let's say you have a crate where you keep boxes of 10, 10, 10 each. Then you have let's say boxes of or pallets of 100 each. Okay, so you have a box of, let's say, this much size, one box. So here these are bigger boxes. Now, so you can store 100 here in these boxes. So the quantity in these boxes are 100. So 100, 100, 100, 100, 100. So the idea here is, this is storage type A, let's say 8001. This is storage type 8005. So the idea here is, if there is a threshold quantity, let's say the threshold quantity is equals to 100. What you say is, if the stock requirement is less than 100, you pick from here. See, if your customer is asking for 80 pieces, 90 pieces, 60 pieces, 70 pieces, you pick from here. Okay, if they are asking for 100 or more than 100, you can give a one big box. It is in 100. So there are customers, they require bigger quantity. There are customers which require smaller quantities. So if they want bigger quantities, so you can give them larger cartons. If they're requiring small quantity, you can give them smaller cartons, right? So what we do is, based on the requirement quantity, we say, okay, if the threshold is 10, if threshold is 100, if the quantity is 90, less than 100, pick from here. Okay, if the quantity is 250, pick 2 from here, and pick the remaining 50 from here only. Make a partial integral. Okay, so this way we can define from where the system goes and picks the stock. So this is called as small and large quantity. So small quantity from another storage type, large from another storage type. Okay. So how do we configure this? How do we set this up? We'll see. So we'll set it up based on something called as quantity classification. Okay. So what we do here is something like this. Okay, I'm going to change my pack specs for a minute. Maybe it's a bit risky to change, and then okay. Let's say, for example, this is the pack spec I have. I can change it here. I'll show you how to configure it, and then So first, what we'll do is we are going to do a quantity classification. Where is that config? Our product, let's say for example, it is threshold is, let's say 20, yeah, 5, or let's say 20. Okay, and let's say for example now here we have in 8004 we have pallet size of 4. Yeah, so if it is below 20, pick from here. Okay, let's say this is what we are looking to configure. Okay, and let's say if it is what is the storage type? Let's say where we can keep big values, let's say 8003. Okay, let's say in our warehouse threshold is 20. So if it is 20 or more, then pick from here. This is 0 pallet, which are smaller ones. And this is cotton large. Okay, so how are we going to configure this? We will come here and create quantity classification first. So we get two quantity classification, E for Euro pallet, if or let's say, okay, I'm saying, I'm just taking an example, where we have both places we have handling units. There are places where, you can have the stock which is here without handling unit also, right? So for that purpose, you don't need backspec. Okay, and C for large data. So what we are saying here is, whenever it is quantity classification is Euro palette, such nature 04, and let's say 6003, let us sequence 8003. Whenever it is cotton, same product, okay. Whenever it is coming in quantity classification C, go and search here. Okay. So how that quantity classification will work? Here we in the pack spec we give here quantity classification. So whenever the HU is created, whenever the task is created, the system will try to see, what is the palette structure. If it is, picked in cartons, sorry, if it is going to picked in Euro palette, okay, then it will go into search into that particular storage type. And we'll have to create another pack spec with 20 as a, you know, um, 20 as my um, quantity. Here it is 4, and for cartons, and I'll have to say carton underscore L. Okay, so when the tasks are created, system will try to take that particular quantity of handling unit, and then it tries to search here. If not, it will try to search here. Okay, so let's say, for example, in this case we are going with both the pallets. Both places we have pallets. Let's say there is no stock here. Okay, it's no HU here. These are loose pieces. Okay, then what we can, and here we have Euro pallets. Okay, so what we will do here, we create a pack spec of 20, and we give a Euro pallet here. So whenever the Euro pallet are picked, we'll pick from here, and we'll create a pack spec, a black spec without. I will get a pack spec without any packaging material and give, and 1:1 we'll give one product, one quantity, and we'll give the quantity classification of loose pieces. Okay, that is, let's say, or what we can do is we can keep the quantity classification blank here. Okay, in this table, we'll say whenever it is picked in carton C1, sorry, picked in Euro pallet, you pick from here 8003. Whenever there is no handling unit or quantity classification blank, so there is no, we will create just one pack spec. There is no quantity classification, it is blank, pick from 8004. Okay, so this is how it will differentiate your storage type from where you are picking. Once the storage type is identified, within that storage type, again, FIFO will come into picture. So FIFO is, it's kind of bits and pieces everywhere. So this is how your quantity classification will work. Then, since we're talking about strategy, I hope we all know this, how process type is searched and why we are creating this, then why it goes into good issue zone.
Yeah, hi Rohan. Brazil here.
Yeah. Yes.
For that previous classification, you have to define two pack specs. For one material?
We have to create two pack specs. One that if the quantity is 4, it is packed into Euro pallet. If the quantity is 20, it is packed into carton. So yeah, we can create two pack specs. That's not a problem.
For one material we can create.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And if I want to do with HUs, based on HU, then
Based on HUs.
yeah,
So, sorry, how you are looking to pick here?
yeah,
Let's say for this example.
yeah.
So, you see, these are loose pieces. I gave you before example that we have HUs in Euro pallet means these are HUs in Euro pallets, and these are HUs in cartons.
Okay, okay. So we can go with that.
Yeah. So then you need two pack specs, one for Euro pallet, one for cartons. Okay, so system will see, based on your quantity, if it's less than 20, it will try to pick cartons, Euro pallets, 5 Euro pallets. Then it is going to pick from 8004.
So where we have to maintain the threshold quantity, that it should not be exceed.
It's yeah, it's not maintained anywhere. I'm just giving you an example. When you create a task, you know, so based on the packaging material you're picking, okay. So if it is 20, okay,
Mhm.
so you pick from here, okay, and if it is less than 20, you pick from here. I think if you want to specifically give this threshold as a quantity, let us see. I think there is a body where you can give. But depending on your quantity, system will pick which handling unit you want to pick. We don't give any quantity as such. We give what kind of pallet you want to pick from. So system will determine whether quantity is less, we pick from there. Quantity is more, pick from there. But if you were to specifically say always, if the quantity is this amount, then you will have to implement it as I think as such a part of your body. Yeah, you have a lot of sort of possible options, in your body, so you can maintain it anywhere here. Change of quantity classifier for stock type search sequence. Okay. So this way you can modify it or you can influence the search. So in the standard one, it will go based on the requirement, what kind of pallets you are picking. If it is picking more bigger quantities, bigger handling units, it will try to create in terms of 20, then it will pick from a storage type if it is less. So what kind of pallet it is? Euro pallet. So Euro pallet system will go and see the pack specs. The quantity classification is E. Then it will try to pick from 8004. Okay. Is it clear? Yes.
Yeah, Rohan, clear.
Then last thing, what strategy I would like to say is you create your task. So you get this GI zone. From where this GI zone is coming? I think some of you know this. You have seen it in put away also. It comes from your process type. 82010 is our process type, we know. So if you want to change it, we can change it here. This is a process type, it's a picking to stock removal. Then why this process type was searched? We also know the table for the process type determination. Yeah, these are the influencing parameters. Just a recap. So here it is OUTB, no special indicator, no item, only this is for the document type, no item type, no delivery priority, no process type determination individual from the product master, and it's just 2010. So I think we'll stop here today. Tomorrow we'll start with a new concept called as exception handling. Okay. And then exception handling, and then we have something called as special outbound scenarios where we create outbound deliveries in EWM, and a brief about batch management. So we'll continue tomorrow from exception handling. Okay. So shall we end the session for today?
Yeah, Rohan. Yesterday I mailed you for that sales order creation, but it's give me error to with the distribution and that division channel is not maintained.
I have replied you. You didn't get my email.
Yeah, I get the mail
Have you
and
tried?
I proceed further, but it's showing me again the same error, that distribution or division channel.
Okay, let us quickly check.
I think it's you are in EWM system.
Sorry. You have all your data
Yeah.
with you? What's wrong? Start. OR. Okay.
Yeah.
M dash TAB. Shipper is
Customer.
what?
Yeah, this one.
Okay.
This error is
Actually, see, the problem is, I'll tell you where the whole problem is lying, because it's all with your product. All the problem is with this. See, when you created your product, you have taken a, see, material type called samples. See, this is not a sample, you have to either take a raw material or a finished product or something like that. See,
Yeah, I tried to copy your material.
getting to it.
I tried to copy your finished product. I have that material. You can check it. M dash.
I'll sort this. I'll sort this. Maybe you need to make sure that you know that you always creating the right material type. So this is this item category group sample, which is causing an issue. So the determination is not set based on that indicator.
Okay.
So when you're creating, just take the right material type, raw material or something like that. Let me put on or non. See here, it gives you that error, gives you the reason, saying that this table is not maintained. So you can very well go and see, this table, these values are not maintained. So you have a z value. Just say, just check from where it is coming from.
We are trying to sorting out the functional issue, so we are into that almost.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is basically master data. You need to be. I mean, it sometimes give even though it is not related, but it sometimes gives us direction. The error gives us the direction. So it is TAB2, yeah.
Yeah.
Sales from sales organization. undefined. So so you just plant your sales organ distribution channel.
Okay.
10,000 10 GBT. Yes. So here's the sale order that created now. I think
Thanks a
you
lot.
should now be able to know.
Sure. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thanks. See you
Bye.
tomorrow then.
Yeah, see you.
Bye.